Steve, we are all very, very proud of what you have meant to the Detroit Red Wings for nearly a quarter of a century. And now it is my deep pleasure to introduce the owner of the Detroit Red Wings and a Hockey Hall of Fame member, Mr. Mike Ilitch.
Thanks, Jimmy. Good evening, everybody. It's a great honor to be here tonight and to be part of a very special historic event. This marks only the 6th time in our team's 80-year history that a player's number has been retired. Any fan who ever looked at those numbers knows they represent something special, almost magical, about the players who wore them and the excitement that occurred when they stepped onto the ice. By the way, I said thanks to Jim Devellano. I wasn't just for what he said tonight, but what he said some 24 years ago when he convinced me to take a look at a young 17-year-old hockey player named Steve Yzerman and sign him to the Red Wings. Jimmy, if not for your firm conviction, the Red Wings would probably not have been the same powerhouse team that packed this arena night after night, season after season, for 22 years. Many of you in our audience tonight may recall that back when Stevie signed with the team, hockey was just another sport in this town. We were looking for someone very special to help lead the charge in returning the Red Wings to a team we could all be proud of. So we took a chance on him, and he took a chance on us. After we signed Steve, and he got a little time under his belt, he came to our house and sat at our kitchen table with my wife, Marion, and myself. We talked for 3 hours. After he left, my wife and I agreed that Steve was one of the most impressive, mature, and knowledgeable young people we've ever met, not just as an athlete, but as a human being. You never know for sure how things are going to turn out, but I can tell you that our hopes were high. Today, everyone knows that Steve Yzerman not only turned out to be one of the best hockey players on the Detroit Red Wings, but one of the best in the NHL. No less significant is how he turned out as a leader, as a role model, as a member of our community. As you know, Steve was the youngest team captain in Detroit Red Wing history and the longest-serving team captain in the entire National Hockey League. And Jacques Demers, thank you for your time. So there's no doubt that Steve is a fine and dedicated leader. What you don't see in the record books is how Steve Yzerman won the respect of his teammates through quiet example, by taking the high road and doing the right thing, day in and day out. He inspired his teammates by walking the walk and sparing the talk. Throughout Steve's years as captain, no one ever challenged his integrity or suggested that someone else take his place. He led without arrogance or self-indulgence. And the payoff was evident in the team's determination, its spirit, and its performance. For Steve Yzerman, being team captain wasn't just a responsibility. It ran through his veins, a fundamental part of his character. Throughout his years with the Detroit Red Wings, where I'm happy to say he spent his entire professional hockey career, Steve never took a night off, never. His commitment to the team and to the game is as good as it gets. He is a dedicated professional in every respect, the kind of person we would all like to be, the kind of person we would all like to see our children grow up to be. Beyond the world of hockey, Steve has given and continues to give much back to his community, to kids, to charities. Steve is the kind of role model that all athletes should strive to be, as an inspiration to our young people and even to those that are not so young. To Marion and me, Steve is like a member of our family. While we miss seeing him fly down the ice, we are thrilled that he's come aboard as Vice President of the Detroit Red Wings Hockey Organization. Steve Yzerman, you helped build Hockeytown. When people hear your name, they can't help but think Detroit Red Wings. And we're very happy that you made Hockeytown your home. Finally, I'd like to thank you for returning the ultimate prize to Hockeytown. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Ladies and gentlemen, the most difficult trophy to win in professional sport, the greatest prize in all of hockey, the Stanley Cup.
That's some trophy.